Hey guys, my name is Ray, and today's the day that I'm finally back with another live stream. I missed out last week and it sucked, but I'm glad to be back. And above all, I'm really glad to be here today with my wingman, Amelia. Amelia, tell him hi. Tell him what's up.
Hi, y'all. It's Amelia, his
So,
wingman.
yeah, my wingman, she loves the wingman thing. Like, that. Oh man, there's so much to talk about because so much has happened. What the hell? Yo, give me a minute. It just started raining like crazy all of a sudden. Tell them what's up, Amelia.
Um, I, hey, what's up? It's Amelia, and um, we're here to talk about the second trailer that was released. We meant to do it last weekend, but some things came up. Um, and just have a discussion about that. We are 2 weeks away from season 7, and I'm so excited.
That was fucking insane. I legit have never seen it rain all of a sudden so hard. Like, you have, like, just think about this. For me to get up and have to close the windows here, you have to, yo, it was crazy. People are screaming on the street like someone's getting killed. Um, Wow. And I have like the lighting kit right next to the window, so like all this water is coming in. I don't know, man. Uh, wow, this
Maybe
is
it'll pull it down.
no, yeah. I just closed the windows, but this is crazy. This is a crazy way to start off. But like you were saying, I heard we have so much to talk about, and wow. Uh, I have a couple of things I wanted to talk about, but we are only 2 weeks away, Amelia. How hype are you for the next season? Because I know that it can't get here soon enough.
I know, I'm so excited. I mean, like, please, just 2 weeks, blah blah. And because I finished the books too, so 5 right now. I'm on Hard Home. Did I finish Hard Home last night? I can't remember. Nah, I did finish Hard Home. Um, so I'm. I don't know that I'm gonna be able to stretch out season 6, but I
I
just.
mean, I have gone weirdly about it because I started watching them in order, and then I just started jumping from like most depressing season to less depressing. Like it's funny. I even jumped the Red Wedding. Like I'm telling you, that's how much it really still bums me out, the whole Red Wedding thing. But I jumped that episode, so I'm on season 4 right now. But it was dope. Oh snap! Someone donated. Uh,
Yeah, I don't know how any of that works.
uh, Let me see.
Joanna Maria.
What happened?
Joanna Maria donated.
Thank you,
I
Joanna
don't. I don't know how
Maria.
that works.
No, thank you, Joanna Maria. That helps hell a lot the channel. I have some stuff that I want to buy, like microphone for my better camera, so that helps everything you guys give me. I'm going to invest in the channel again, so thank you so much, Joanna.
Do I get a cut? I'm just kidding.
No, yeah. What happened? What was it though that you said? I'm still going crazy over the water.
I said, I said, do I get a cut? But
I mean, yeah, we'll talk about that. No, but like I was saying, I'm on season 4 right now. I'm on season 4 right now, and I feel like by the time I finish actually watching uh, the episode, I mean the seasons, I feel like I probably should be there, right? Because I'm working like I'm putting it to like I'm pushing it back enough so that the 16th I get to see, like, oh, this is the last episode, and then I get to move into that. But
yeah, I don't think that I'll. I think I'll have finished, but I could start over.
this is funny. Iron Throne says Blood Raven is sending you raid. I don't know who the hell sent it. I'm not even joking. People were screaming on the streets, like, because it was like all of a sudden. So people were screaming on the streets, like White Walkers are among them, or like winter is here. Some I don't know, man. It's really crazy. Like that shit threw me off completely. I'm like all over the place right now. But yeah, man. I mean, it's crazy because we've had to wait like a year and a couple of months to get this whole thing now. you know, the upcoming season, and there's so many things going on Game of Thrones related that it's ridiculous, right? We have Con of Thrones, then we have San Diego Comic Con is gonna be during the running of Game of Thrones, which that never happened before. Talking about Con of Thrones, what do you think of Con of Thrones? We've seen Kyle from KFC. He's like,
He's having a ton of fun. I know I really was gonna try and get down there a couple of days ago just to hang out with him, but it didn't work out. But next year, seriously, next year will be even better because this is the first year. So, Ray, you have got to get on a plane. It's only like a 2.5 hour drive for me. Gotta go, and I'm gonna dress up because people are dressing up. I'm gonna dress up as Cersei.
what you call it?
I've decided.
I I honestly was thinking, how is this feeling of not going to Con of Thrones and seeing like Kyle, you see Tony Teflon, you see like all these other big YouTubers over there, and I'm just like, damn, this must be how it feels to be like a wildling left beyond the wall. Like that's how I feel. I feel like I'm a wildling and I've just been left beyond the wall and they're not gonna let me pass. So I'm like, damn, I gotta wait a whole year to maybe go next year. But it looks fun, man. I mean, I saw Kyle had pictures with Lysa Tully, the actress who plays Lysa Tully, Cyril Farrell. He even took a pic I saw with the linguist, the guy who created the Dothraki languages. That's
yeah, and
cool.
he did the interview with
Jan Royce.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I saw that one. That's pretty dope. He asked him a good question too. I'm not sure if he's gonna put it on his channel, so you guys should definitely check Kyle's channel out. But it looks like it's gonna be an awesome, crazy event, and I want to go next season, like legit. But
You need to.
yeah, like I saw like Tony too. Tony was like live streaming on Facebook through it. It looked really cool. Like cause I saw Ice and FireCon. Ice and FireCon looks like it's pretty young too. Both conventions are pretty young, but hopefully next year I'll probably be able to go. And the hotel looks crazy where they're staying too.
Yeah, the hotel here is. I have never stayed in the hotel, but I've been in the hotel. It's really, really, really pretty. It's huge. It's one of the largest. It's probably the largest hotel that I've ever stepped foot in. Like square footage wise, if you don't count like going to Disney World, because in Disney World it's spread out over like a huge area of land and it's multiple buildings, but Opryland is just one huge massive building. It's beautiful.
It looks insane. Like the whole experience there, the whole event, it looks beautiful, it looks dope, and hopefully next year I'll probably be able to go to Con of Thrones because it looks awesome. Oh,
You have another donation. I'm asking for like a 10% cut now.
it's gonna increase.
From Marie.
Thank you, Marie. Oh my God, this is awesome. I mean, like I said, thank you again, Marie. Marie has always been a long time supporter, long time sub of mine and ours. Like she's always
an original.
She's an OG.
What do they people call OG? Is that OG? Is that what that means? I'm old. So
yeah,
is that what that means?
Yeah, she's like an original on the channel. So thank you, Marie, so much for the help and the support. But damn, I mean, let's talk about this trailer because that's what we came for. We came for the trailer, right?
That's what we came for.
We came for the trailer, and I haven't done anything on my channel. I went on Kyle's channel and I did talk some, but I didn't get my thoughts out or what I thought or I believed on the trailer. And last week I skipped the live stream, so let's do this now. Let's dig into this. So first off, to be fair, I just want to ask you, what was your favorite moment? Your one favorite moment in the trailer?
I think that when Jon, has his sword and he beats down, and it's just so reminiscent of the Battle of the Bastards.
Oh yeah.
Hans is doing the voiceover, and I'm just like, oh, I'm like that just part where I think that bring to blush.
I mean, yeah, I see. Everybody knows that you're a big Jon fan.
I am, but I'm also a Tormund fan. I'm a big Tormund fan.
You like the wildling beard.
I do. I like a beard. I'm not gonna lie.
I think because I recorded my reaction. If you guys haven't seen it, I recorded my reaction. I was working all day when the trailer came out, and I was like suffering. And I had told my brother, like, yo, me and my brother work together, and I was like, yo, bro, check this trailer out for me. And when you check it out, let me know if it's good on a scale of 1 to 10. And he was messing with me. He was like, oh, dragons, White Walkers, snow zombies, and whatever. And I was like, bro, like, for real, how is it? He told me, nah, legit, I don't know Game of Thrones, but if I never saw it from a 1 to 10, it's an 11. And I was like, damn, that shit must be dope. And then Kyle, you...
Ricey's here.
Ricey, oh my God. My brother from a British mother.
Interrupt.
My brother from a British mother. Shout out to Ricey. I was just like, yo, when you Secret to the Citadel, Kyle, and everybody was like, yo, you still haven't seen it, and people actually don't believe that. I really did not see the trailer till like 10 o'clock in the night, bro. When I saw it and I saw Beric Dondarrion's sword, yo, when Beric Dondarrion just does like. I was like, oh shit! Like that to me was like the best moment in the trailer. Like that hyped me up so much. That was pretty cool. That made me go crazy. Like I even messed up the PlayStation. I paused it like by accident from how crazy I went. But to me that was like
your video.
I mean, I was like, should I upload this? I was like, I look like a dweeb. I was like, why am I so excited for this? But I gotta stay true to myself. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna upload it because this is like my legit reaction, and hopefully I'm gonna do the reactions for the season when the season comes out. But that was my legit reaction, and I was like spazzing out, man. I was just going crazy. But before we continue, I think it would be good to give some shout outs to everyone who's already with us in the chat. You want to give them a shout out?
We have another donation.
What?
And from Tyrion Jr. Landstark. Landstark.
Thank you, Tyrion Jr. Landstark. Tyrion Jr. Landstark. I like that name.
I want to know in the comments if I wasn't on here, would Ray be getting as many donations?
Of course I would. I mean, no, but thanks, Tyrion Jr. Landstark. Know my work. You want your value. Nah, but what you call it? That's crazy. And we are getting a lot of donations today. But damn. I want to get some shout outs. Let's see in the chat. I have to look down here because my computer is I have another computer over here. And let's give out I want to give a shout out to Marie. Thanks again for the donation of, let's see, Iron Throne. Shout out to Iron Throne, Fame Arcade. Like I said, my brother Ricey, Candy. Shout out to you. The One True David Adams. What, he changed his avatar? Is that a harpy mask on One True David Adams? Let's see. Tyrion Jr. Landstark. Shout out to you. Peach. Misha. Let's see.
Jonathan Haymaker.
Yeah, because I don't know. Mine seems to be a bit delayed over here. You could continue, Amelia. I'm
on my phone, so.
Oh, that's probably why it's quicker. But again, thanks to everyone who's joining us.
Broke Black Man 94.
Shout out to BBM. Yeah, BBM. Let's see. You know. No, I'm not gonna bring it up. I was gonna bring something up, but that was from last week, from the last time we live streamed, and I don't want to, pile on something. But let's see.
Fame, you did get a shout out.
Who, Fame?
Yeah, he's like, I don't get a shout out. Fame.
Shout out to Fame Arcade. Shout out to my bro Fame Arcade. He's one of the OGs on my channel too. Like Fame goes way back. Way back. So shout out to Fame Arcade.
One True David Adams. That's an actual mask. Like he said, he got the mask for Christmas. That's awesome.
I mean, I would be scaring the shit out of people. Like if I had a harpy mask. I mean, you be seeing me with the remote in my house, and I'm like acting like I'm gonna execute people, like with the sword. I'm like, Raymond of the house, whatever, Alba. I'm like, I'm such a what you call it. But shout out to everyone. Thanks for joining us. So let's dig into this trailer, right? Let's dig into this trailer. So the trailer first starts off with Sansa Stark, right? She's walking through like the Godswood in Winterfell and whatnot, and she looks kind of like she was crying, or her eyes look a bit swelled up, or she does look a bit emotional. What did you think about that? Right? Did you see anything in the image, like anything in particular that stuck out to you?
She looked like she was more contemplating, or like she had just gotten to here, but I don't know if she looked like she'd been crying.
I don't know. I felt like her eyes looked like kind of reddish around. She did look kind of like, like something very overwhelming maybe hit her or something at that moment. But I've heard a bunch of different thoughts because, like I said, I did the video with Kyle on Kyle's channel, and it's interesting. A lot of people tend to believe that Littlefinger might not actually even be talking to Sansa, because we hear that Littlefinger says, "Don't fight in the north or the south. Fight every battle everywhere, always in your mind." Like, what did you make of this opening for this trailer? Because it was different from what we've gotten in other trailers, and it's weird seeing Littlefinger. Because usually, like, when you hear someone say something in a trailer, it's very like strong, or it's very important to the story or to whatever you're doing. What did you think about what Littlefinger said, and what did you think about the combination of that with Sansa?
I think that they're just showing us that she's, I think she's going to be put in the middle of a lot of stuff, obviously, because Littlefinger's still trying to play his games. But, and then her walking in the Godswood, I mean, I think it just shows that she's having to contemplate a lot, and that she's going to have a lot of heavy decisions, and he's going to continue. I don't know how far into this season, but that he's going to continue to try to manipulate her. But usually we see her standing alone. We never, we don't see him talking to her. We've gotten these voiceovers of her or of Littlefinger, but never them together. So I just think that it shows that she's going to have a lot on her mind, and she's going to feel alone in overcoming that.
I mean, I was going to say immediately, I could hear myself on your end. Yeah. It's like I'm echoing.
Is it echoing? Like, are y'all like?
When I talk, I hear it.
I don't.
Now I don't hear it.
Okay.
You're like, but I was going to say, what Littlefinger says is very interesting, but he says, "Don't fight in the north or the south. Fight every battle, always in your mind." Is he telling her to be more calculated about what she's doing? Like, that's the way I took it. Like, be a little bit more slick, but like fight everything, or fight battles with your head and not like brute force, like he learned with Brandon Stark, kind of. You know what I mean? Remember when he had the thing for Catelyn and Brandon kind of opened him up? That's kind of what I got the vibe of. He's just passing that lesson along to Sansa. Like, if you're not a fighter, fight every battle, but in your mind, and don't. So I do think he is talking with Sansa. I don't know if it's like, I think it was Kyle who said that it might have been maybe like his last words before he was executed or something. Do you have any thoughts of when this might be happening? Do you think anything like that, or?
I think that, I don't. Perhaps it is when, if I had any theory on it or any thoughts on it, perhaps it's when things really come to a head with and her being sort of in the middle, and maybe it's his last attempt to continue to manipulate her. Maybe it's after Jon and Littlefinger have their little crypt brawl, and he's still trying to, get into her head. I think maybe, if I have any thoughts at all, it's that. It's sort of towards the end, like, what's the word? Calm before the storm. You know?
Yeah. I
A
mean,
last ditch attempt.
like a Hail Mary for him. Like he's just gonna throw
Yeah.
it in the air and see what happens. I mean, I remember when the ending of season 6, me and you were very on very opposite sides with Sansa. We were like total opposites. I remember with Sansa. I still
You
believe
love
that.
to bring this up.
Huh?
You love to bring this up.
No, because I think it's going to be big. Like you know what I mean, and it is a topic that me and you tend to get emotional and heated about. Sansa versus Jon. I do believe that Sansa at some point might look like she might betray Jon, and maybe her family does pull her back. But I do think that she might try to betray him. I know you don't think she would, but towards the end we do hear the quote about the lone wolf and whatnot. What do you think about Sansa? Do you think that she will maybe tumble along the way, or do you think she's gonna be straight through and through a Stark and help her family and stick it out with her brothers and sisters?
I think since we're gonna have a Stark reunion, um, I think she's gonna come back to family, including Jon. Which Littlefinger, you have to keep in mind that Littlefinger doesn't know that Bran's going to show up. Littlefinger, he doesn't know anything about Arya. So again, it might be his last, Hail Mary to try to control her, because once, we have our Stark reunion, enough to break that apart.
I mean, Kyle earlier asked a good question to the actor who plays young Royce.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that Sansa in the upcoming season, like I said, I think she will, kind of embrace the whole Stark thing. And I do think that the whole lone wolf thing is to make us think about Jon being separate from his siblings and being alone beyond the wall and whatnot. But I do think that Sansa might look like she might betray Jon. I don't think that she's going to completely do it now, just from the way that they're trying to force us in that direction. So that makes me think the opposite. I mean, I don't think that Sansa could survive a betrayal of Jon Snow. Like, if she were to betray Jon, I think that no one who supports the character of Sansa would be able to be like, But I do like the way that Sansa seems to be like in more of a power position, especially now that, like you said, the Starks are conveying in Winterfell. It seems that Arya is heading north. It seems that Bran is heading south to Winterfell. So I hope that Sansa does the right thing and everything just fits in and melds in perfectly. But I'm very curious to see how far Sansa goes down the line with Littlefinger. Like, how much does she listen to him, and how much does she take on from here on out, like with Littlefinger? Like, because everybody says that she learned how to play the game through Littlefinger and Cersei, right? I'm curious to see how much of that does she take on with her family. Like, how much does she use this within her family? Because we've seen that Cersei has used certain techniques and certain things in her family, right? Like with Tyrion and Jaime, manipulation, scheming and whatnot, and it doesn't work out with her siblings. Hopefully Sansa doesn't carry that on, like, as experience to the Starks. Like, you know what I mean? That's just my thing. I don't think she's going to betray them, but I think that she might be still a little bit more gullible than we're giving her, that we're
I
expecting
don't think
her to
that
be.
she's going to betray them. I think that what she's learned and how to play the game, all that knowledge that she has possessed, I think she's going to use that to help her family. Like, she's going to say, like, they're all going to be back together. And, you've got Arya who just went, she's got her list, her kill list. You have Bran, who, one of the most important, powerful characters in the show. But she's going to show them, this is how you play the game. Because she's the only one out of all of them that have been privy to that.
I do agree with that. She like her, like Arya, they have gone through certain things that give them like that gullibility that Jon has. Arya could see through that, right? We see that Arya has the ability to see through people's lies. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let's say for example, Littlefinger in front of Arya would be nothing. Like, Arya would be able to disseminate, in my opinion, right away. Look, Littlefinger's lying. Like, that man is hiding. He's hiding something. So I think that Arya is going to be huge with the whole Stark plotline. Then you have Sansa, who is aware that Littlefinger is, a douchebag, a little conniving little, whatever. she knows that he is. Let's just see if she could outsmart him and outmaneuver him in his own game. Because that's the thing. People are like, oh yeah, she learned from Littlefinger, but let's see how much did she learn. Let's see if she could outmaneuver him and play him like for, you know, a fool or whatever. Which I think would be pretty difficult because we have seen people like Ned, Catelyn, Cersei, Lady Olenna, all these other people who are experienced and have years and years and years, decades of experience in life, and they have been played by Littlefinger, and they know that he's, you know, tricky. I'm not sure how much confidence I have in Sansa. The only thing that I give Sansa is that, you know, Littlefinger might lower his guard around her, but I still believe that Sansa has a long way to go before she's like a top game player. Like, you know what I mean?
I think that once all the Starks come together, though, it's gonna create this sort of missing pieces, you know, and together against Littlefinger, he doesn't stand a chance. And I think that when Sansa talks about the lone wolf, you know, even if Littlefinger still tries to outcast him, well, rightfully so. Jon is different. He is special. He could be the lone wolf, but I think her saying, you know, that the pack still survives is the truth. Like, Jon's gonna do, and we're still gonna survive. I think like, outcasting him isn't gonna do it good.
You just broke up there. Whatever you said, it kind of paused. Can you say that again?
Which part paused?
I don't know, like the last like 10 seconds. Like, it kind of, not 10 seconds, like maybe like 5 seconds or something. It kind of like skipped. You said Jon is going to do what he's going to do, and then it paused after that.
I mean, he is sort of naturally an outcast, so he can be the lone wolf. He is the lone wolf because he has a destiny that's different, but, you know, will still survive. I don't think that Littlefinger is going to be successful in continuing to outcast Jon in that way. I think that everybody is going to see that, yeah, he might be a lone wolf, but for good reason.
I mean, I think that when you really look at it, the way that the show is portrayed, right? We have these major houses in Westeros, and we see everything from their point of view. We don't really see point of views from, like, the common folk. The only person like that before was the High Sparrow. And he was elevated by the common folk. And he wasn't, like, you know what I mean, like, a commoner anymore. So, when you really look at it, maybe it's that the major houses of Westeros are the outsiders. Maybe they are, like the High Sparrow said, maybe they are the few, and the common folk are the many, and the outsiders, it's a popular theme because a lot of people say that bastards, cripples, and broken things might end up being, like, in charge of everything. And I think that actually might be true. Does it fall to the theme of House Stark, the whole lone wolf thing? Yeah. Do I think that it necessarily will only apply to them? No. I think that, like like the guys told Kyle, the actor who portrays young Joyce, that, you know, they all have to come together. You know what I mean? And Jon is putting a compelling case that, you know, they all have to come together and they have to be. And it's interesting because I was seeing earlier that the marathon of Game of Thrones is running, and Robert tells Cersei, like, what's more, 1 or 5? And, you know, Cersei says 5, and Robert does this. He goes like 1, whatever, you know, he does the whole fist thing. And then I was like, yeah, you know, like, it kind of does feel, and it's interesting because Jon does kind of resemble that love, I guess, that Robert was able to get from the common folk during Robert's Rebellion. He was able to get people to follow him in battle and in war. That comes up a lot in the books and in the show, that he isn't a good ruler, but he was able to motivate others to follow him, and he was able to lead them in, like, times of need and war. So I do find that interesting. I hope to see what comes of it. Do you have any more thoughts on the Starks or whatever? Starks, Jon, or any of them?
No, not at this point.
All right.
Not at this point in the trailer.
All right. So then I wanted to also bring up Dany arriving at Dragonstone. To me, one of the like things that I see that people bring up but they don't pay much attention to, or I haven't heard people mention, is when Dany gets in there in Dragonstone, and we see the flaming stag banner, whatever, the one that Stannis used.
That's Stannis, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's literally on fire to me. Like the way that like everything just looks like, to me it looks, not literally, because if it was literally on fire, it would be literally on fire. But the way that like the dust,
Well, it wouldn't bother Dany any.
but the way that it just looks dope to me, and it just reminds me of how Stannis burned Shireen, and it's basically like the future of the house. Stannis, when he burned Shireen, it made me think about that, and it's like your whole sigil, you built it around it was burning. Isn't that like a bad omen though? Like your sigil is burning, like, and then you burn the future of your house, which is your daughter. You're only like, I don't know. It was just dope seeing that little scene. I don't know. I felt so much seeing that one scene, and then like the culmination of Dany actually pulling down the banners at Dragonstone. That was pretty dope to me. Did you have any thoughts of any of the scenes of Dany at Dragonstone?
I did not think that deeply about her pulling down the banner.
I just went back. I just went way back into it.
I just sort of felt like it was her claiming Dragonstone. I didn't think that deeply about it.
I mean, I legit went like, and then like I just went like way back into like, because I'm not that big of a Stannis fan. To me, Stannis whines a lot. He's a bit of a whiner. I don't like how he looks at Robert Baratheon. He's not a cool dude. He's not a fun dude. I understand why Robert would not want Stannis around him. Like, I just never really gravitated in the books or in the show. I never really gravitated towards the character of Stannis.
Gravitated towards him now more, like after reading all of the books, and you know, rewatch. I like Stannis more now than I ever did.
I mean, I like him more in the books because he's smarter, and he doesn't seem as pouty as he does in the show. In the show, he just seems like, I don't know. It's kind of something like, it's like he has. I like the comments always in the chat. They always say he has middle child syndrome. It's like, yeah. So that's what I feel with him. He's like, he's always arguing or overcompensating for something, and I just don't like it.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So, did you have any thoughts of Dany and Dragonstone? No, that's it then?
That was it. And sorry, we had a couple of questions. Do you want me to screenshot them?
I mean, you could let's throw them out now. Let's see what's up.
Well, considering that 2 of them were from your people who donated, then we should. Stark asks, think Dany will learn that Tyrion and Sansa were married? How do you think she reacts?
What happened? What was that again?
Do we think that Dany will learn that Tyrion and Sansa were married? And how do you think she'll react?
I mean, at this point, I believe she knows. Like, that's not something you brush under the rug. And I don't think that Tyrion put much in it, especially since Sansa is alive and well. I think that, I mean, we saw that Tyrion was good with her, at least on the show. He was very respectful of her, so I don't think that it'll be that big of a deal. But I do believe that it would help, if anything, you know, that Sansa could tell Jon, like, look, Tyrion was cool. Tyrion didn't do. It would be better than, you know, like, if Tyrion did something wrong, and then, like, it would be detrimental then, you know what I mean? But I mean, at this point, if he's married to Sansa, and at this point, Sansa's was married to Ramsay, and was raped by Ramsay, and then she was married to Tyrion. She didn't consummate the marriage, and in this world, when you consummate the marriage, that is like, I guess, a tier to it. I don't know if it kind of overthrows Tyrion's marriage. I don't know. It's weird. It is a weird. What do you think anything of it?
I don't think that there could be anything negative that comes out of her finding out them being married. I think that, yes, Tyrion was really respectful in their marriage, and it's only going to allow, like, when we have a Dany and a Stark meeting, if Sansa and Tyrion happen to meet as well, I would only imagine that it would strengthen that meeting. And Danny knows, I mean, Danny knows that you have to marry people that you don't want to marry and that you have to marry people for political reasons. So I don't think that there would be any, I don't think there'd be any negative consequences or reactions. It could only help to strengthen, again, almost their meeting. Like, oh yeah, we know each other. They're cool. He's cool. He's respectful. I was married to him. You know?
I mean, yeah, like, Tyrion, for the most part, he shut Joffrey down a couple of times, you know what I mean? Like, protecting her. She probably didn't see those in the show, but he was pretty cool with her, you know what I mean? And he was kind, so I just don't think that it'll be detrimental. If anything, we saw that Jon and Tyrion got along very well. You know what I mean? And and then if Sansa's like, oh yeah, they married me to Tyrion, but he didn't do anything to me. He didn't force himself on me. And it's, to me, this is one of the things that most interest me about Tyrion and how people perceive Tyrion is everybody has him just because he's an imp as like, or dwarf, like they have him like he's some evil little monster. Like the way that people look at Tyrion is so crazy to me in the story that I don't know. It's just it's interesting to see how now maybe that might start shifting and changing now. You know, now that everything is changing around him and he, in the position that he's in with Danny, but I don't know. It's crazy to me. It really is. You have any more?
We have another question from me.
Go ahead.
Do we think that Tyrion might betray Danny?
I've heard this before. I forgot where I heard it, but or I'm not sure if someone asked me and Kyle this on a live stream we were on. I think. I know that in the books that they make it seem like she will be betrayed again, or she will be betrayed. If I think he could betray her, and I'm not sure if you could count it as betrayal. I think that he would be like, I'll choose my brother over you. And I think that he would choose Jaime over, you know, like Daenerys. If push came to shove, I think that he would choose Jaime. Maybe even Cersei, because he is a good guy. He hates Cersei, but I think that he would choose his family. Like, he would be like, pardon them or exile them or something. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think that he would. So I do think that there is a possibility, not a big betrayal, but like I think he would just, like, you know what I mean, maybe save Jaime when, you know, he was the one that killed her father. Even though now she knows that her father was batshit crazy, I think that, you know, now that might be I do think it's a possibility he betrays. Long story short, I think he could betray her. What do you think?
No.
No. Oh wow. Why? Like, you're just like, no.
I don't think he has any reason to betray her.
So you're telling me if Jaime were about to get killed, or if she wanted to get like some revenge on Jaime, like for killing her father, you're gonna tell me that you don't think that Tyrion would betray or like do the same thing that basically Jaime did for Tyrion, release him? You don't think that would happen, if anything like that?
I think that Tyrion and Danny have the kind of relationship where he could just talk with her and ask for a pardon.
But what if...
And
okay, I understand that. I think that they do have that relationship. I think they have it that good. But I'm going to say again, what if she says no? What if she says, no, this one is mine. I'm going to kill Jaime. He's going to be executed. Do you think that he... What do you think would happen there? I think he would betray her.
I don't see that happening.
Wait, no, but you saying that you don't think that Danny would be like, nope, I'm sorry, Tyrion, I can't give you this one. This one has to die. You don't think that would happen?
No.
You're bugging. You're bugging. Cause yo, did you hear how crazy, how reckless Danny was talking to the Dothraki before they came over? She was talking about burning and taking, and like she sounded like a crazy person. And you're telling me that when she sees the person who killed her father, who forced basically her father into exile, basically you could put, like, not her father, her family, who basically determined everything when they killed the Mad King. You're telling me she gets her hand on Jaime And
Jamie, what didn't determine all of that?
he didn't, but he was a big part in it. He killed the king. He was
He killed the
sworn.
king to save the realm.
All right, I understand that, but what if she doesn't care? People lose logic when it comes to family and loved ones. Don't tell me that if someone messes with your family, you're just gonna be like, well, this is the logical thing. Sometimes people are like, you know what, family, family.
Tyrion is so poignant with words that he will be able to convince her that he did it to save the kingdom.
This is to me, this is an interesting point, right? Because in the trailer, we do see that Jamie is charging at someone, right? We see that Jamie is like running towards.
I think, or maybe running away.
Or nah, he's not running away. He's not running away. He's running towards something, and him running towards something to me gives me the impression that he's mad or he's like, I've lost. I have nothing else, and he's running towards the battle. You're telling me, like, I personally thought that it was maybe Tyrion or Dany on the other side, and then he's gonna get caught. What do you think about that scene?
Stop. I think that if I don't know what I think about that scene because I can see Jamie.
Yeah, all right.
What?
You don't think anything about that scene. He is clearly going like into the battlefield, like he's going and you have no idea. You don't know what's happening there. He's mad.
I could see Jamie being on Team Dany, like turning and being on Team Dany.
He's too much into that Cersei. He's way.
Oh,
way.
come on now. He is. I don't know.
I mean, the actor who portrays Jamie said, Nicola, he said that he's gonna ride or die with his chick.
Yeah, you are on YouTube.
This is great.
I don't. You know, Ray, some things I just don't. I just wait to see how it pans out. I'm a bad wingman.
I mean, all right, we'll move on to another point. But I honestly, the way that I see that scene going down is basically either Tyrion or Daenerys on the opposite side. Jamie sees Tyrion and is like, oh, you betrayed me. You betrayed your family, the Lannisters. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to lose it all. And he's just bum rushing the battlefield. And he's like, I'm going to... And then that's where they stop him and take him prisoner. And then they negotiate with Cersei. That's why Cersei has to negotiate with them. That's the way I see it. Like, again, I've never seen any spoilers. So, you know, people in the comments or in the chat, don't spoil me. I haven't seen any spoilers. But that's just the way that I see it going down.
Okay.
But, let's move on then. Did you see... What was that?
He said Game of Thrones is oh so funky. Reading the books. That's how him know. Stop.
I'm eating the mouse.
All right, so...
You've been on long enough.
See.
Okay. Marie.
Hi, Marie.
Okay.
I can't see you though.
All right. So, let's talk about Tyrion. Let's see. We see the scene where the Unsullied seem to be like on a boat and they're going to like this crack in a mountain, and for the most part, everybody seems to believe that this is when they get into Casterly Rock. And we heard a scene once before where Tyrion is talking about the time that he fixed the plumbing in Casterly Rock. Do you agree? Do you believe this is where they go? Is this like Tyrion telling them like this is how you do it? This is where you should go. Do you think that this is Tyrion helping them out?
Oh yeah, I think that Tyrion's totally gonna lay in sort of the blueprints on how to get in, and maybe they are going through the sewers.
I don't know. I found it like so interesting, that thing, right? Because again, it's just something that is like you don't appreciate it, and then it goes to the opposite side. It goes to like the enemy, like the Lannisters threw Tyrion all over the place, and then like when he's with the enemy, it's so dead. It's so deadly to them. So
Yeah.
to
Yep.
me,
Here, take care of the plumbing. You know, nobody wants that job, right?
yeah.
Well,
It
lo
got me.
and behold,
It gets me a promotion in my other job, my next job. You know what I mean?
right? Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I was looking at some of the bloopers from last season too, and Tyrion is just one of those swag like Tyrion, Bronn have like mad swag, like they're just like these characters that have like this mean swag, so much personality, and then like they have abilities to back up that personality and whatnot. It's just very interesting to see how useful Tyrion is going to be to Dany, and how impactful he's going to be, because we've seen that like he's able to help her, but I want to see how he helps her in Westeros with the politicking and with his planning of battle and shit. Like no, but he wasn't given
There's
credit for
nobody
that.
better.
Yeah, because he wasn't given credit.
There's nobody better than Tyrion.
He wasn't given credit for the Blackwater. It's going to be interesting to see him at the forefront of everything that's going to happen in Dany's victories and triumph over the Lannisters. I'm very curious to seeing that. Do we have any more comments in the comment section, or any comments, anything interesting?
That Tyrion has been boring since season 5.
Tyrion has. I don't think Tyrion. I mean, I think that the way that George writes Tyrion out in the books, it is very different from the show, right? Because in the show, he's a little bit more like comic relief. You know what I mean? He's like lovable. In the books, I feel like he has some darker tendencies. Like, I don't know. You read the books, right? So you read the books since you read the books. How do you feel about Tyrion in the books and in the show? Like, I feel like he's a little bit darker in the books. Like, he's a little bit not, and like a little bit more lustful and a little bit more like, I feel like he's a little bit more cranked up, to say the least, in the books than he is on the TV show.
I was really upset with a lot of parts in the books, especially Tyrion's storyline. I did not realize that his storyline went the way that it did. And I feel like it wasn't conveying his character. I mean, the actor, I mean, when it comes to Tyrion, is just perfect, I think. And seeing that before reading the books, of course, you know, when you read the books, is, you know, your television Tyrion. And it just, his storyline in the books doesn't do him justice versus what he's doing on the television show. Almost wasteful of one of the best characters. It's almost book wasteful on one of the best characters that is in the show, I think. You know?
Because I feel that the way that... Yeah, go ahead.
Selfish. And in the books. And I don't know, sinister, but just...
Yeah, he's not as kind as, like, I feel that his personality, like, it just depends on if you like him or if you don't. But like, I feel like his personality in the books is a lot darker than, and of course it is because of all the, like, when you hear what happened with Tyrion's first marriage, you're like, oh, I understand why he is like this, but he still is more darker in the books than he is like.
Warning. Universal driver updater has...
All right. No worry. I muted you.
Before we do, like, legit, like, you know, like, post-show stuff.
No, yeah. Right. Let me see. No, but we had a question from Marie. Do you think Grey Worm is going to die this season? What is that? Is that like a yes or a no? What is that face? What was that
That's
face?
I don't want to think about it, face.
What was that face? You were like,
Kidding. That's not very ladylike. But then again, I'm pretty much a guy. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it and I don't want to think about it, face.
I mean, I think that he could die. I don't think he will die. I don't know. Damn. It's like when you think those characters, because in any other show, it'd be like, nah, he's not going to die. You know what I mean? Like, he had his penis cut off. That's suffering enough for one character on the show.
Right.
Like, I honestly believe if you have your penis cut off on Game of Thrones, you should not die. I legit believe that. Like, I was seeing the episode when Theon gets, you know, castrated, to say the least. I was seeing that episode, and I was like, yo, like, it would be like open ground, eat me up. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, I can't even imagine that shit. Like, that's how crazy that is to me. And that,
Really? Would you really? You couldn't live being a eunuch?
I don't think so. I don't think so, bro. Yo, it's so like that, but not even just being a eunuch. It's just like I understand, like that situation. Like when, like I have like family members who are like amputee, like you know, like they have amputated limbs and whatnot, and I understand how like traumatic that could actually be. Imagine having something and then not having it. You know what I mean? Like it, but then like imagine having something like that, like on top of it, and then like the use of it. Like for example, imagine Theon, who's like I was watching the episodes earlier, and that, like this is why it pisses me off. Jaime lost the hand, and Jaime was his hand. Jaime was his right hand. Everything that Jaime was the warrior, the Lannister, the fighter. He was like that was him. And then you have Theon Greyjoy, who is basically a tool his whole life to maintain the Greyjoys in check, because he is the heir to Balon Greyjoy, and his purpose is to be king of the Iron Islands, or prince or lord of the Iron Islands, and then reproduce and forward the Greyjoy line, right? That's what his whole purpose, his whole thing is, right? And then you have Ramsay. Mira, look, Amelia. Snip. He cut that motherfucker off. And then after that, you're telling me that that to me is just crazy. I don't like how people hate Theon more than they dislike Jaime. Like, I feel that Jaime should be more disliked than Theon.
I've never thought about it that way. Like, you have to dislike one more than the other.
I mean, I don't see it necessarily, but I mean, like, when you see, because through the YouTube channel, you see comments and you see how people think and whatnot, and I see how sometimes people are like, oh, Theon is, like, the worst. But, yo, Theon, he did something bad, but he didn't do what Jaime, like, Jaime pushed the little kid out the window for seeing him, for, like, peeping on him, banging his sister. And I get that Jaime was saving basically his family by, you know, pushing Bran out. But he was... And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Jaime necessarily is bad or a bad character. I like douchebag Jaime more than I like nice Jaime. I like arrogant Jaime more than I like humbled Jaime. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just me. I prefer him being the bad guy or the guy who backs his shit up more than I do what he is basically now on the show. Like, I like to have him with character and backbone. That's why in the books, when he blows Cersei off, I like it more than what he's doing on the show. Like, this little, like, oh, baby, whatever you want or whatever you need me, I'll be there. I don't like that. That's just me personally.
Book Jaime is really good.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I like that he has his own thing. Like, he's his own person. But I mean, on the show, I don't know. And the show is just like, that's one of those things that it's like, it's okay. I hope he gets like it's like ever since he returned to King's Landing, you know what I mean? I feel like it's whatever. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But let's talk about one other major thing that made me freak out personally in the trailer, because we kind of just jumped off the trailer. It was Bran Stark arriving at the wall, and then we see that basically he's spying on the Night King. Like, I personally freaked out when I saw this because it's just dope. And we see that he's at Winterfell, like on one of those wheelchairs that like Doran Martell is on. What did you think about that? Because we got a lot in those scenes with Bran and the Night King and whatnot. Did you have any thoughts on it?
I mean, I think that from what we can gather, if what they're showing us is true, it's almost that the Night King and Bran can almost communicate, like they sense each other. You know, when he's warging or greensing or whatever, the Night King senses him. But I was really excited to see him and home at Winterfell, and curious as to who is standing next to him while he's sitting in the wheelchair.
I think that's Maester Woken. The one who was with the Boltons. That's who I think it is. I don't think that's Bloodraven. Like, that's what you were going to say?
It looks like Bloodraven, but I don't think it's Bloodraven. I'm hoping that it is Howland Reed.
Interesting. I mean, I think he had a chain, didn't he? Let me bring that up again. I'm not sure. Like, I just thought it was the Maester who was in service to the Boltons, Woken. That's who I thought it was.
I don't know. That guy looked younger, and
he just looks too old. Like, I'm looking at it like right now on the screen. He looks pretty old. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, he looks like Bloodraven. What if it looks like Bloodraven, but
I think he looks a little bit
it
chunky.
does. I mean, the head, yes, y'all. The head does look like an older man, yeah. But I mean, what if Howland Reed lost his hair and
from keeping that secret? From keeping that secret.
I mean, maybe they all can't, age as well as Ned.
That would be funny. If
It'd be cool.
I mean,
but
don't get me wrong. I have a whole video based on Howland Reed coming and returning to, or coming up in the upcoming season. You know what I mean? I do think that it might be a thing, but
I don't know that it's a Maester though. That like Bran's not. It needs to be somebody that Bran's familiar with, or that he would trust. You know what I mean?
I do agree with that. I just hope that, for example, if indeed it is, like they say, a character not being Maester Woken, that it is like an impactful character. The only thing is that it made me. There's so many questions from this. We see that Sansa at one point is walking out of the Godswood, and we see that Bran is there. We see that he has one of those like wheelchairs made out of wood, which is dope as fuck. Like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh! I was like, our boy Bran got some wheels. I just hope that the character, if it's not Maester Woken, it's actually someone who has sort of like a backstory or something impactful. I just don't hope that they just like put any character there just because. You know what I mean? I hope that it's something important and something dope.
Valar Morghulis says he thinks it, or he or she thinks it looks like Brendan.
They think it's Bloodraven.
I mean, it does. It does look like Bloodraven for sure, but and he could, who knows, with all of this space-time continuum stuff, that Bloodraven can't, wouldn't show up again. I mean, that's not, at this point with Bran, anything's possible, but
I mean, to be honest,
what if it is something else? Wouldn't it be cool if it's Howland Reed?
I think that it would be maybe more possibly Brendan. I think it might be Bloodraven before it might be Howland Reed, because I just think that dude looks way too old. But then again, does the hair look similar to Howland? Because I do think that Howland Reed kind of did have that bowlish hair cut, right? Like he didn't have it. I don't know. It's one thing that I did pick up on that I told Kyle and them on Kyle's live stream was we didn't get any flashbacks. We didn't get any in this trailer. What did you think about that? Like we didn't get any, and to me that's interesting because last season we got a ton of flashbacks. We got Hodor, we got the origin of the Night King, the Children of the Forest and whatnot. Then we got R plus L equals J, the Tower of Joy. We got like a ton of flashbacks last season, and we did not get one in the trailer. Not one flashback. Or at least that's what we believe, right? Like, for all we know, the Night King might be a flashback, or the Crows or whatever. But from what we could determine, we did not get one flashback in here. Do you think we might get any flashbacks? And if not, or if yes, which ones do you think we might get?
Yeah, I think that we will. I think that we probably got, the flashbacks in the trailer last season just because, like, that was our little treat and, yes, it's coming. We're going to do flashbacks. Withholding it because we know now how powerful they are and what they can show us, that they're not going to give us anything in a trailer. They're going to make us wait for that.
I mean, I hope that we get a scene with Rhaegar in it.
I think we will. Because, George said by the time that this season is over, by the time that this show is over, there's no need to do a Robert's Rebellion spinoff. You're going to learn everything that you need to learn. So there are going to be flashbacks. I just don't think that they're going to give them to us in a trailer. I think we will see Rhaegar.
I would hope that everything that we get in this season and in the next is enough that we don't have to see a Robert's Rebellion, because I really wanted to see Robert's Rebellion. Like, that's
that we would. I think, we'll see.
But then
we'll
again,
see Rhaegar.
Is the word of George R. R. Martin worthy for you to bet on? Like, do you trust the word of George R. R. Martin now? Like, I don't know if I can trust him. He's with the Winds of Winter has hurt his credibility in my eyes.
Well, I've heard it that George doesn't lie when he's asked a question. If he doesn't want to answer it, he won't answer it, but he won't lie to you.
He does play around them, though. He does kind of because I've seen him answer things like...
he may dodge certain things. You're not going to be like, who's John's mom? And he's just going to tell you. You know what I mean? But obviously we know who John's mom is now, but that's, you know what I mean? But he wrote that in his live journal. So I don't think that he's going to publish that. He wrote that. So...
hopefully, I hope that we do get enough. I want to see Robert versus Rhaegar. Number one. If we're not gonna get it in I want to see Robert hit Rhaegar in the chest with the Warhammer. I have to see that.
I don't think they're gonna do one season of flashbacks and then never come back to it again. That would be pointless.
Even if it's just like Rhaegar getting knocked off his horse with like the Warhammer hitting him, I want to see that. I want to see Rhaegar. Look, there's a difference between what I want to see and what I think we will see. What I think we will see, Rhaegar and Lyanna getting married. I think we will see some sort of version of that. I think we will see the tourney at Harrenhal. I think we'll see like a little, maybe like mini flashback, like something so that they don't have to like invest. Because for you to hide a scene that well, like I have been avoiding spoilers, but I know a bunch of spoilers, but I've avoided a bunch of them. So, like, you know what I mean? For me, not even to hear anything about the tourney of Harrenhal, like, happening in season, like, to me, that's a little bit iffy. But I think we might see something like, you saw how we saw the Night King? I mean, not the Night King, the Mad King this season? That we saw, like, a little flash or whatever? When he said, burn them all, whatever. That scene? When Bran is like... Huh?
Last season?
Yeah, last season when we saw the Mad King, he was like, burn.
Yeah.
I think we might see something like that of the tourney of Harrenhal. Yeah. I don't think that we'll actually see like full-fledged footage of like Rhaegar and like a whole 4 or 3 minute scene. I don't think we'll see any of that. Like, because for them to hide it And I honestly hope that they didn't cast that little Justin Bieber wannabe who was like, going back saying that he might be like hinting that he might be on Game of Thrones with the blonde hair. But I don't know.
Yeah, I'm so spoiler free that I vaguely remember some blonde dude saying he was on there. But they could also do that just to throw people off.
I know, like
We had set photos of Shay, on set.
last year, yeah, that was funny because that never came to any fruition. That was in nothing. She was in a costume for no reason. That was like.
So,
you're right. When you're right, you're right. I agree with you. I agree with you on that. You are right.
when I'm right, I'm right.
When you're right, you're right. That is unarguably correct. Last season they did have kind of a couple of things, I guess, to like throw us off, or they were making it seem the way that they were filming things. But I don't know. That did kind of sway me one way or the other. You were right. Let's see. So I also wanted to talk about. There was an article recently that said that Euron Greyjoy will be the craziest and worst villain to date. What are your thoughts on that?
The actor is self-proclaiming that, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a lot to live up to. A lot.
He does.
So, I'm like, really? Like, Ramsay had seasons he gave us so much material in multiple seasons for us to hate him, to loathe him. You've been in like, whatever. And then you're going to say that like now within 7 episodes of season 7, you're going to trump Ramsay. I mean, that's big talk right there.
Like when I heard that, I was like, bro, Ramsay was fucking awful. Ramsay was one of the worst villains I've seen in anything. Joffrey was so despicable. He was like such an annoying little evil character. And for him to say that, he's going to be I just don't see it.
I know. I'm like,
how?
How? In the books, he's as much as people like certain things like that people had hyped up about certain characters in the books that we hadn't seen in the show, like, oh my gosh, we're gonna get Euron, and then I read the books and I'm like, he's not, like, why do you all like he's hardly in the books.
I mean, he is crazy in the books though. He's crazy. But from like what you get, the little that you get, I feel like in the books from Euron, like, have you read the Forsaken chapter?
No, but I've heard people like reading it on YouTube.
He has damp hair, like on fucking
on silent.
Yeah, he has him like drugged up, and like it's like he's like on some other like, you know what I mean? Fuck, I can't see the comments right now or anything, so you might have to handle that. But what the hell, my other computer's bugging out. He's just really, really crazy compared to how he is like now. Like on the TV show, I just don't see enough time, like you said, for him to actually make it up. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like for him to be worse than Ramsay, you have to build up to that, and we have to see you enough. And I just don't think. I mean, Ramsay cut off Theon's penis. To me, that's unforgivable. I feel for my boy Theon. What is cut off may never stick again or whatever. And then you have Joffrey, who killed Ned, who basically was against Robb, and it was on his side, the whole Red Wedding thing, I guess. You know what I mean? The Lannisters organized the whole Red Wedding. Like, you hate those characters so much as you start watching the series. I just honestly don't see any possible way that you could hate. I don't think that he could kill any character on the show. And it would make me as mad as I was when I saw Joffrey and Ramsay. Like, Ramsay literally makes you think, like, wow, like, this dude is sick. Like,
yeah, like, there are people, like, Ramsay and Joffrey are those people when you hear of, like, horrendous, like, true murders. you're like, how do people get that sick in the head?
Exactly.
Like, that's them.
So I just
You're
don't
why
see.
we have to lock our doors at night now.
I mean, I just don't see how he could pass him. I don't think that one there's enough time, because between this season and next season is going to be 13 episodes. Yeah, they might be a little bit longer, but I still don't think that they're going to be long enough to make him that bad. But I don't know.
Maybe he was just pouting himself up. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I believe that might be actually be the case.
and we'll have to wait and see. I don't think it can be done.
David Adams is quoting me on the "what's cut off may never stick again."
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. It's crazy. Like, I really don't see. Like, I really put a lot of weight on what happened to Theon. Like, that's really messed up. I do think that Euron has to die season 7. Do you agree with that? Do you think that? I think he has to die. You're like,
I don't know if there's really going to be a place for him in season 8 because things are going to pick up really fast, and season 8's pretty much just going to be the White Walkers, you know? So where does he fit in?
I mean, I personally think that Euron will die. I think that he might die. No, wait, he won't die. I think he'll die early next season. Extremely early next season. Because the whole White Walker thing, like, for example, you have way too many villains for one story, right? You have Littlefinger. You have too many agendas that are pulling different ways. You have the White Walkers. You have Littlefinger. You have Euron. You have Cersei. And, all right, while Cersei and Euron might align, you still have three people that you have to worry, or 3 sides that you have to worry about.
Yeah, they're going to have to start trimming the fat real soon.
Yeah, so I think that Cersei would be more endgame than the Iron Islands or Euron Greyjoy, so I think that he might die.
I would hope so. I mean, I would hope that she would, would be more endgame. I mean, you don't know, but I'd much rather see her character suffer through to the end game versus him. Like, I have no investment in Euron whatsoever. He just doesn't impress me. But Cersei, I mean, she's been in this game, you know, the long haul. So she's done a lot of crazy stuff.
You know, it's funny seeing the episodes in hindsight with because we did see Euron in the trailer actually in battle. I don't have the clip for that, but we do see him going at it, like, with some axes, crossing some boats. And it seems like it's going to be a crazy, crazy battle. But in hindsight, it's crazy to see how Cersei came from. Like, we know how crazy Cersei gets, and when you see the earlier episodes, that she's still kind of like in a box. She's kind of enclosed. Her craziness, or how far she's willing to go, is kind of like enclosed. So much, like, you have so many people that hold Cersei down. You have Robert, Tywin. You have, like, so many, like, other forces to me. Like, when I was seeing season 1 earlier, it's just interesting seeing how Robert was a thing that could, like, hold Cersei down. When in hindsight, you would think that Cersei would be crazy and maybe would have had him killed earlier, because it seemed like she disliked him from way ahead when the story begins. It's just crazy that it took so long for him to die, or for them to kill Robert off. But I don't know, man. I think that the combination of Robert and Euron is going to be of Cersei and Euron is going to be crazy next season.
What if, like, Cersei and Euron, if he's like, you want me to help you, you know, you have to marry me because she's queen.
That's how it's going down, without a doubt.
And what if Jaime is like, excuse me? Well, then I'm going to go over and hang out with my brother Tyrion, and I'm going to be Team Dany, like Amelia, you know, like. Maybe he's running with the dragon.
I did a video on the future of House Lannister, and it's funny because I saw the same episode earlier, and in that video, I point out to the fact of how much Jaime dislikes the Greyjoys. Like, if you recall, when Jory is talking with Jaime outside of Robert's room, whatever, when Jaime's at the door, that Ned sends him the message, sends Robert, whatever. Basically, he's like, he saw Theon, and he said that it's like a shark looking out of like a shark out of water, whatever. And then he was like, oh, and then Jory says he's a good lad, and then Jaime says, I doubt it, whatever. You know what I mean? And then he talks about how easily the Greyjoys like stop the rebellion or whatever. To me, it just shows how much he dislikes them. And then when you put in hindsight that he doesn't like the Freys and he was forced to work with the Freys. Now he doesn't like the Greyjoys and he's going to have to work with the Greyjoys. To me, it's interesting to see how quickly he's going to get upset with Cersei, or he's going to start, instead of letting Cersei do whatever she wants. It's going to be interesting to see how he pushes back against Cersei, like the pushback that he gives her, because I think that he won't work with the Greyjoys well.
Here's an I'm sorry, but one of the comments, Todd Fowler, I feel like the White Walkers will be the last conflict of the series. It has to be Dany versus Jon.
I don't know if it has to be Dany versus Jon. I think that it will be the White Walkers versus the living, and then I think that whatever the outcome of the White Walkers will be whoever sits the throne or whoever's in power, because basically, like they say, the history goes to the victors, right? Like whoever wins gets to say how history went, basically, right? And I think that with that being said, if, let's say, for example, it looks like Jon was who saved everybody, I think Jon will be pushed into power. If, let's say, for example, it looks like Dany saved everyone, Dany will use that to take power. And that's how I just see it going down. I don't see it necessarily like Jon and Dany going at each other, because I know a lot of people tend to say that
White Walkers is the finale for sure.
Yeah, I think they're the finale, and then I think that we might get like an episode of resolution, like what will happen after. If they end Game of Thrones, they killed the Night King and that was it, and then we see like a zoom out, like of like every, like that wouldn't rock with me. I have to see like who sits the throne, how everything ended, happy faces, sad faces, or whatever the case may be. But I have to see a conclusive ending. I don't want to see like something that was like, okay, so what happened next? Like I don't want to see that. We cannot see that. If we see that, we will have an issue.
I also, something else that was interesting. Let me go back here. Hold on.
All right. Marie has a question. Let's answer Marie's question. Marie says, in the trade,
King McKay, like a couple weeks ago, after like I didn't know who King McKay was, he's on here now. I'm totally subscribed to his channel. I don't know I know what's wrong with me is that I have like the memory of a goldfish. So
shout out to King McKay who's in the chat. It's funny. No, but let's answer this question from Marie, and then we'll go to like some shout outs and whatnot. But Marie says, in the trailer with the Hound and the pick in the end, what does the sword? Wait, does that sword look small? Is that needle that the Hound is holding? If I think that this is what you're talking about, this photo right here, I'm gonna wait for it to pop up so that you can see it, Amelia. But I'm not sure if you saw it. It's like this photo of, it's like they're in the sun and you don't get to see who it is, but they're like pulling out a sword and it looks. I'm not sure if you know anything about the Dragon Pits for the upcoming season. Do you know?
Well, sorry, I'm still looking for the one comment.
Yeah, but before you get to the comment, did you hear anything about the Dragon Pit in the upcoming season?
No.
All right, so there's this scene right here.
Dragon Pit in King's Landing?
Yeah.
I've heard something about it, but...
Well, in this pic right here, a lot of people tend to believe that this is maybe the Dragon Pit in King's Landing. And a lot of people are asking, is this Bronn? Is this like Bronn or the Hound? I personally think it's the Hound because it seems to fit the narrative maybe a bit better. But it is interesting because I did not think that it was Needle, because the sword looks to me to be a bit longer than what I remember Needle to be. But this is one of those picks that had everybody going crazy because if this is indeed the Hound, and they are in the Dragon Pit in King's Landing, that means that we might get Clegane. What do you think about this picture, and do you think we could get Clegane in the upcoming season?
So funny that you're answering this question of Marie's, and I was searching for the comment, and his comment is right under Marie's question. To answer your question, I don't think that's Needle. I think maybe that's Braun.
He does look smaller. He does look like it could be Braun, if I'm honest. I don't know. If it is the Hound, it would fit
Braun
the
wears
narrative.
a belt.
Yeah, the outfit, it does look more like of a Braun outfit. You're right. I think it could, but I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. When you're right, you're right. But I do think it could be either or. I think it could be Braun still, and I think it could be the Hound. It just really depends. But I don't know. It's interesting. What was the other question you had?
It wasn't really a question, but it was an interesting comment from Tyrion Jr. Lance Stark. Who's to say that the White Walkers are villains? Maybe they were wronged. And I just found that comment stuck out to me because I was watching last night, and when not the Night's King, but the other White Walker, comes in and he walks through the flames. I even took a screenshot of a picture of my television because it was just so gloriously beautiful. He's walking through the flames. Because we also saw when Ray, not Ray, but when Sam, remember when Sam was like the Fist of the First Men kind of scene, and he's huddled by the rock and on the horse, and he just sort of looks down at Sam and then raises his ice sword and screeches. He seems, which scene I'm talking about?
When you're saying when the White Walker goes to get little Sam?
Sam sees the White Walker on the horse, Fist of the First.
Yeah. I remember.
And so that White Walker just sort of looks at Sam, and then he takes his ice sword and he screeches.
Yeah.
He seems very robotic, right? But then when you're watching the Hardhome scene, Walker walks in and he's fighting Jon, but they're in that shed at first. The White Walker seems so you can see, even just him walking in, I just loved it. I watched it 4 times. I rewound it, watched it, rewound it. When he walks in with such determination and the way that he fights, I mean, because I hadn't seen Hardhome in a while, that he fights, and mentally you can see him, and you can just see him thinking, and he has this determination, and then, you see more of that from the Night King, but it just caught my attention last night while watching Hardhome that we noticed that in another White Walker, when pretty much any of the other times we see a White Walker, they're very robotic. With his comment here, maybe they just feel like they're wronged. The more that I watch the White Walkers, they really are, they're a being. And I know they're made from a human, but I don't think that their purpose is just to make everyone, just to build this dead army. They definitely mentally have a purpose, and a reason for why they do things. Going with this, but I just got really excited because,
before last season, I thought that, let's say for example that, before season 6, my mentality was, these are a civilized people because they have outfits, they have clothing. We see that they have their armor. It seems to be that they have a crest, a sigil. So I understand that aspect of it all, and I think that in the books it might be a little bit more deeper than what we've seen in let's say for example the TV show. But that being said, the other day on Kyle's channel, I had just thrown out there, I was like, what if the Night King that we see is being made is a green seer? What if he is a green seer, and that's why he got this specific or unique trait or ability? Because I feel like everybody dismisses the fact that like they are green seers, and I don't know. To me, that stuck out more to me. Like, who is this original White Walker? Like, why is he connected? Because we see that, for example, when you look at Bran and you look at Bloodraven, Bloodraven can go into Bran's visions, right? And Bran can go into Bloodraven's visions. Okay, why could the Night King go into his visions? What if, like, for example, this was like the first Stark Green Seer or something, and that's where these abilities come. They betrayed him, and now he has like a personal vendetta against someone or something. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna see if I look more into it, because I was thinking about that. I just haven't had time, and with season coming up, it's like, why make up theories if you don't have to put anything out because the season's coming up? But I honestly believe that there's something more there with that, with the first men, or the first man, or whatever, or the original Night King that they showed in the vision. I think there's something more there that we haven't seen, but that's just me. Hopefully we get a little bit more, but there's definitely.
Do you think though that the mission that they have, not just to like raise a huge dead army and kill everybody, do you think that their mission is because they feel wronged? Like the comment said?
I think that the Night King feels wronged. I don't know. I don't think that the White Walkers, because we see that Craster's giving up his kids, and we see that we believe the kid is being turned into a White Walker, right? So what was that child being wronged? The child was wronged by Craster, not nobody that they're killing. So, to me it kind of...
That's the only way for them to like survive, is to continue, procreate. Well, we know that there was a female one, Yeah,
but in the show, that's like, that has been pushed aside. That's why I think that they switched something up in the show with the White Walkers. I don't think that what we'll get in the books is the same as in the show.
I just think it's interesting. Like, I hope that we in the show, they do have their sort of their own language. I really hope that they find a way, sort of get into them to understand the mentality of the White Walkers in some way, whether they translate their language for us, or I just really hope that we get to behind what they're doing. Because then really, what's the point? It's almost like The Walking Dead, right?
I mean, if it is like The Walking Dead, then Game of Thrones is better than The Walking Dead. Like, I don't know.
Game of Thrones is better than The Walking Dead, but look at The Walking Dead. Like, these zombies are just robotic, I just want to eat, and just kill you. But you don't get behind the mentality of the White Walkers, then they're basically, it's no better than, like, we're fighting you, like, we humans, the white in The Walking Dead, we're fighting you to survive. I want to see something different from, like, why the White Walkers are here and why they're fighting each other, like, more about their mental state. And I hope that we get to see that, I guess.
I mean, I personally think that we will get some more into it, but I think they're going to leave that more for the books. Because, like, for example, Little Monster or Little Sam in the books seems to be, like, have his own story. Again, this is why George has fucked himself over. Like, George R. Martin has messed himself over. He made so much detail into those previous books. Like, even that minor character seems to have its own story. Like, it's his own plot. Little Sam in the show is an afterthought. But when you look at the books, Little Sam is sent off. No, Little Sam is at the wall. And they make it seem, because you read the books, right? So we see that Jon sends Mance's son in Little Sam's place. And then Melisandre could either burn when they want to burn him. And then Jon will reveal that it's, Craster's and that he sent Gilly's son away. Or the White Walkers or crash the wall and then get that 100th baby. So, like, it's like, I feel like in the show we still haven't gotten enough to make anything of it. I think in the books it'll be a lot more bigger and a lot more epic.
I don't know that the babies really have a continuing story, though. I think that, you know, I think that I sort of took it as George was keeping everything very cohesive and tight knit because in the books, in the books and in the show, we know that Melisandre loves to burn anybody that has any sort of royal blood to them. So in the books, you know, we also know that. So he wanted to send Maester Aemon away because he has the blood of the dragon. You know, blood. And so if he's going to do that, well, then he needs to take the royal baby. I felt like it was just sort of to keep everything cohesive. Was trying to take all the royal blood from the wall and send it away. That if you're going to do that with Maester Aemon, then baby, because if George wouldn't have included the baby, that wouldn't have made sense.
I don't know.
I don't think that little Sam, or monster as they call him.
I think that monster will have a bigger, like, I honestly believe that's going to end up biting them in the bud. That he's still at the wall, but I don't know. That's just me. Like, we gotta wait for the winter.
I mean, yeah, we still have 2 more books, but that baby's not gonna. I mean, how much storyline can a baby have?
What happened?
Can a baby have in 2 more books?
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. Even if it's like a sacrifice, if you have to sacrifice 100 babies, it's the number of 100 that's intriguing. Like, it's not even the baby itself. If Craster gave 100 sons to the White Walkers, to you that doesn't like pique your interest a bit? Like, yo, that's like a weird number, a very weird round number to me.
I mean, I know I just got done reading the books, but have there only been 99 babies that have been given?
100. 99 have been taken already, and Monster is the 100th.
Did I in the books?
What happened?
How did I miss that in the books?
Look, it's in the show and in the books, in both of them. And the scene is you can find it on the TV show specifically. Off the top of my head, I remember. You can find it in the TV show when the Night's Watch returns to Craster's Keep. That's the scene specifically where he mentions it. But I just think that it's just too perfect of a thing. And I've heard like a bunch of awesome theories on it too. Like, you know what I mean? From other people that I honestly am settled on it. Like, I don't know. It's just. I mean,
I guess I'll have to do more research on it then.
But let's see. Night King Sightwalker says, I could see Cersei sacrificing some babies to the Night King if he asked nicely. I mean, if you ask nicely for anything.
I don't even think that you have to ask Cersei nicely. I just think that if they're not her kids and they're not her babies, they can all die.
Take them.
I mean, to think about like how she ordered, for all of Robert's bastards to be killed. I'm like,
Joffrey did. That was Joffrey.
Oh.
Joffrey was.
Was it Joffrey in the show? I mean, it was Joffrey in the show, but what about in the books?
I don't recall.
Like,
I mean,
Moses and people were disgusting. Whoever did it, but
I mean,
one of them.
Cersei did kill her best friend because she had the hots for Jaime. I mean, with the whole Maggie the Frog thing. I mean, with Cersei, I wouldn't downplay anything. But
yeah, like I said, if they're not her babies, she doesn't care.
But again, David Adams brings up an awesome point, and then we can give like some shout outs. Only 2 weeks till season 7. This is crazy. And it's crazy. To me, it's really out there because basically my channel has like a year and a half. and like this is gonna be like my first year completely like reviewing and doing videos for Game of Thrones right after or whatever. It's insane. I mean, just think about that. Yo, we've waited how long? A year and like 3 months or like 2 months for the next
By the
season?
time that the show premieres, season 6, remember, because season 6, you did the episode 10, like post live stream that I normally do with you. But remember, I was at my dad's and it was 4th of July weekend. And I had trouble like with the internet, so I couldn't get on. That was 4th of July weekend, and you were doing your post show for the season finale.
Yeah, I remember.
So now we're at July 17th.
That's insane.
16th. It's like, wow, we've waited.
I mean, to be honest,
forever.
I haven't waited for anything that long, I think, in a while. Like, we're going to only get 7 episodes in a year and whatever. And then, like they said, season 8 might come out in 2019, which will still be insane.
I think they're blowing smoke with that.
Yo, it is. Just think about it. What do you think? We're going to get, like, season 8 in, like, 5 months? By the time that this finishes, it's going to be, like, what, August? And then in August, you're going to have, what, 3 months? You think by March we're going to have it? I don't think so. Like,
No, I don't think that, but I don't know that it's really going to be 2019. It might be
I think
late 2018.
You think they're going to release it, like, in
I don't
December?
know.
Like, winter? When winter is upon us, you think they're going to release it? That would be dope.
Maybe.
I would love that.
So it's only going to be 6 weeks worth, so
That would be dope. That would be really awesome.
maybe it would be winter of 2018.
But I just doubt it. I'm already 100% sold on the 2019 aspect of it all. I think that they should have done it like they usually do with like they're doing it with Infinity War. They should have filmed both seasons and then just filmed it and then released them within a year, because it's gonna be way long. But you know, it is what it is. Let's give some shout outs to people who are now in the chat.
Well, that's how they did Lord of the Rings.
They did Lord of the Rings like that?
Yeah. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but they filmed Lord of the Rings like that. Or maybe it was the Hobbit ones. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, in New Zealand. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I personally would hope that they would have done it like that, film both of them, knock it out of the way, bam, bam, bam. But I guess that I don't know, for some reason they didn't do it that way. Maybe it didn't work out for them time-wise and writing. But I feel like I always get back to this. If you say that you only have 13 hours or 13 episodes worth of footage or material, how do you even know that if you haven't even written out the story? Like, to me, that's ridiculous. That's what upset me most. I'm like, how do you know that you have that amount of time? Because I just have the feeling that now everything that we get is going to be rushed.
I mean, I think that they had, from the beginning, they mapped out their story. Just like when you write a story, like in college or in high school, you know, you map it out before you start writing your story. I think that they knew hours they wanted, and they broke that down. And then as the seasons progressed, they micromanaged all of that, and then they wrote out their scripts.
I understand, but it's still like I still feel like they were being stubborn about it. Like they were like, we want to end this.
Look at the MCU. They're years. You know, they have phases and years, and we've known about, you know, we were in phase 1 and we knew, you know, what was going to happen in phase 3, and things have changed, but and then you micromanage it and things change as.
I mean, the way that I see it, hopefully they do everything right in the upcoming season, right? They have everything set up perfectly. In a perfect world, they would have it out by 2018. I just honestly have learned with Game of Thrones, don't hope for things because you won't get them. You'll just probably, get a version of them, but not exactly what you want. Just think about all the battles and all the crazy stuff that we've seen in the trailers. We have Jon Snow beyond the wall, a crazy set piece beyond the wall. We have Casterly Rock being taken. We have basically the second Field of Fire, and then you have like reunions and all this other stuff. All of that could have been stretched out to 10 episodes. I don't care what nobody says. I would prefer, even though it's cool, it's condensed and it's all together or compacted or whatever. I would have preferred 10 episodes, even with a little bit of filler to fill everything out, instead of just having like 7 episodes of all action. Because then it turns into a Transformers movie. Like, you know what I mean? Like Transformers to me, it's like I've seen every Transformer movie up until the last one released. Why? Because after I saw the 4th one, I was like, this has no storyline. This is just explosions and cool graphics and cool battles and whatnot. So that's what I kind of feel with Game of Thrones right now. You went mad quiet. Huh?
I guess we're going to have to, I don't know. We're going to have to see how the 7 episodes of season 7 goes. Because, last year how I felt like season 6 had fillers. I mean, do you remember how angry I was half the time? I'm like, why did we even need that? If we only have so many episodes left, why in the hell are we watching this, right? Like, remember how many times I went on my rants?
Yeah.
So, I didn't like that, but so I'm going to just have to wait till the end of season 7 to see how I feel about. But, at the same time, season 6 was the first time in the history of the show that we didn't have the books to go off of.
No, but the thing is, with the books and the show in season 6 was we actually went back, and then we went back to the Riverrun plot. Now in the show, we're going to have conversations between Bran and Sansa. I've never seen Sansa and Bran ever interact. I want to see that. I want to see Sansa and Arya. I want to see Jon with Bran. I want to see, like, I don't know, Daenerys and Jon. I want to see Cersei with Jon. Acknowledge the bastard of Winterfell. She, in the books, she thinks about it. You know what I mean? They want to have him possibly killed or whatever. Like, it's like he's like a thorn in their head. You know what I mean? I want to see all of that, but I want to see it play out in the show. And I just feel that by rushing through it, they're going to rob us of that. That filler that we get to see interactions between characters or talking. Or, like, let's say, for example, let's say that, I don't know, Bran, Arya, and Sansa are all together at Winterfell. You don't want to see them, like, interact or, like, ask about Jon or, like, how does she feel about something? Or, like I enjoy all of that. I enjoy the backstory. I might not like watching it or rewatching it, but I enjoy backstory and information so that you could give me, like, that kind of POV thing that the books do. To give you, like, insight into how a character looks at things. That's what I want, but in the TV show. You know what I mean?
I think there'll be brevity to it. I mean, I think we're going to have a lot more scenes with lots of big characters together. And I think that it'll have it'll have brevity. I didn't get last season, I feel like. In a lot of scenes, I didn't get the brevity that I wanted. But I do think that we'll have it this season because together, so it's almost like it has to be heavier. You have these amazing characters and these amazing actors, and they're all gonna be home in Winterfell, Stark reunion. You almost can't not have a great deep scene.
I mean, I did read an article recently about D&D. They were talking about, they had asked them about how the actors said that they were acting more. They were, like, working more than they did in previous seasons. And D&D said the most logical thing ever. When you kill, like, 12 characters in one season, the next season everybody's going to get more scenes, more shots, more everything. And I understand that, you know what I mean? We probably might get more of the Starks, more of the Lannisters that we usually have in other seasons. But that still doesn't mean that they couldn't have maybe stretched it out a bit more and given us, like, maybe a little bit more backstory or timing in between scenes. I still feel that because I mean, like,
Well, maybe they could have, and maybe they would have if they had the books.
like I'm asking.
I mean, I know they're tired, and I know they want to be done. I know D&D, they're just like they're over it. But I feel like with them not having actual books, I mean, George is giving them, whatever he's giving them. When you have a book to be able to stretch that out, and maybe if winter was out and A Dream of Spring or whatever, that maybe they could have stretched it to 10 episodes and it would have been still full of life. But so
like Marie Hill asked the question here, right? She said, do you think we will learn what the Flames said to Varys? That's something that I would like to know. And even though, like, that's something that probably might come up, like, in the books or some shit like that, but I want to know what happened, you know what I mean? And, of course, all of this is happening because of George. Because George did not finish the books, so then they kind of have to wing it. They kind of have to get to this certain place. But I don't know, man. Part of me sometimes is like, all right, go an unbiased opinion, but then I get like personal. I feel like it's personal. I feel like they're jipping me off. They're robbing me of 3 episodes. I don't care what nobody says. Yo, just imagine 180 minutes of video clips, story. If we could have learned, like they said right here in the chat, Bronn. We could have learned maybe like what happened. Where's Bronn from? That could have been a 2-minute scene, but they could still tell us. I doubt that kind of stuff is going to come into season 7. You know what I mean? They're not like fleshing out characters anymore. But I don't know. You have any more thoughts? I don't know.
What Marie's question was,
will we ever hear what the Flames said to Varys?
I think in the books we will, but that's a good point. I mean, remember when we had the other Red Priestess and she just showed up in Meereen and was talking to Varys about, I know what you heard in the Flames. That, like, we never saw her again, right? Like, and now they're not in Meereen.
It would have been interesting.
You bring another Red Priest for a scene. Was that a filler scene? Because don't make me get on a rant again. But like, you bring up the whispers again, that he heard in the Flames. Like, I would hope that they would tie a nice little bow on that in the show, because if not, then you're looking back at season 6 and you're like, what was the point? Right? So hopefully we will, but I definitely think that we'll find it out in the books. Just like I'm really hoping, like, why did you show us Mel's, old wrinkly body if you're not going to address that again later on? Because we didn't need to know about glamour, because the Mace storyline didn't happen in the show, so we didn't need to worry about the glamoring there. We didn't have to know that Mel was glamored and that she's secretly an old lady, unless you're going to show us in season 7 that means something. You know what I mean?
I mean, I've had like really, 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 really tinfoily things in my head recently. Like, I just haven't put them out there. I have this whole thought about Mel, the wrinkly thing, the original Night's Queen or whatever, and Mel. I just haven't, like, concretely backed it up. I'll probably do a video on it. I'm not sure. One day if I feel very bold. But I do think that there's certain payoffs that we do need. And I do agree with you that would be one that I would like to see on the show. I just don't know if they're going to address it. The Mel thing, I do think that they might address a little bit quicker than the Varys one. But I wanted to get some of your thoughts before, because we almost are 2 hours in. And I wanted to get your thoughts on the scene when we see Jon Snow beyond the wall, basically, and it seems like he's going to get World War Z up in this bitch. It looks like he's going to get insane, and he's going to get crazy. We see Beric Dondarrion with his flaming sword. We see a bunch of stuff. We see, like, I don't even know what the hell we see. We see the Hound. We see Tormund. We see a bunch of whites. We see Jon versus a White Walker going at it. What do you think what did you think about the scene in general? Like, did you have any thoughts about it?
I do, but I really have to go to the bathroom. I have to.
Go ahead.
What is
Go
it in
ahead.
the books again? I have to like make my water. I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
I mean, you could have just been like,
20 minutes.
give me a minute, and I would have been like, cool. All right, so I'm here by myself, people. But my thoughts on that scene, to be honest, my thoughts on this scene was crazy, right? Because when you look at the scene of Bran looking at, we believe that Bran is looking at the Night King. Is he looking at the Night King while all of this shit is going down? Because, like, it looks like World War Z hit Beyond the Wall. And I don't know, for you to go beyond the wall, it must be something insane and crazy. I just don't know exactly what's happening in the scene. Because like I said, I've avoided spoilers. I know people that have offered to tell me what's happening in the scene. But over the scene, we hear that Sansa's talking about the lone wolf. And, you know, the pack survives and the lone wolf dies. To me, all of this piques my interest because... is Jon a wolf? Should Jon be considered a wolf? He's half wolf, half dragon, you could say whatever. I just think that is going to be dope. I don't know how many scenes we have gotten recently. I was about to say Amelia's dog is coming on camera, people. I was about to say your dog is about to sit in for you.
Yeah.
No, but what you got? I'm just thinking that scene is full World War Z, and it looks like it's going to be epic because that last stare down, what we saw with the Night King and Jon, was dope. I want to know what the hell happened with the Night King and Jon when they meet again. Like, now that they know each other, they're acquainted with each other, I want to know what the hell is going to happen and how that is going to be.
Do you think that this scene, sorry, I missed, well, I was gone making my water, but do you think that this scene of them beyond the wall is the beginning of the White Walkers, or do you think that this is sort of a prologue and Jon's going to go back to like Winterfell or to Dany?
Nah, like I think this is there's 7 episodes, right? Or how many is it? 8 episodes?
7.
7 episodes. There's 7 episodes. I think that this is going to be the epic episode. I think this is episode 6.
But do you think that this is going to start the actual war that we're just going to spend all of season 8 watching? Or do you think that this is like a mini mission as an introduction?
I think this is a mission beyond the wall. And I personally think that this is a mission beyond the wall. They're looking for something beyond the wall. Now, what they're looking for specifically, I don't know. Maybe they want, like, proof of the White Walkers, or probably they want, like, the Horn of Joramun, or some weird shit, some artifact, or probably, like, intel. I don't know why they would go beyond the wall, because they have Bran, and if Bran is at Winterfell, he could look through the birds, like we see in the trailer, so it's a bit weird, you know what I mean? To be honest, I'm a bit, like, what the hell is happening?
Do you think that the Night King is there, or do you think that the Night King is still a little bit further north holding back?
No, I think he's there. I think he's there, and I think he's just sending a bunch of them. Because if it is indeed the case that they have, like, close to 99 White Walkers, and let's say, for example, not all of them are grown, even if they're 50 White Walkers, that would mean that he doesn't have to go into the battle. Like, he would send his disciples or his henchmen or whatever you want to call it. His sergeants, yeah. He would send them in there and they would do his dirty work. So that's how I see it happening. I don't see him going in there unless totally necessary, unless he feels that he has to go in.
I think that the Night King is going to still keep a safe distance.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's necessary, I don't think he's gonna go in there.
So I don't know that we're gonna get Jon and the Night King faced. I think we're gonna get more Bran and the Night King, like, you know, mentally. But I don't think that the Night King is going to be in those scenes with Jon and Barrick, and I think it's just going to be like his sergeants.
I mean, we did see Jon fighting a White Walker. Like, we know.
Yeah, I think there's going to be White Walkers there, but I don't think that the Night King is going to be there.
I think
I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong.
No, but you know why I think he's gonna be there? You see that scene like where Jon is like standing and all of them are like running at the hill? I think that Jon is gonna be on the hill this time, and the Night King is gonna be like from afar, and they're going to look at each other. And I think that's gonna be an epic stare down again. Like that's just how I think it is. Like, you know what I mean? But I don't know, man. I'm really hyped. Damn, we're only 2 weeks away. 2 freaking weeks away. I'm so happy.
Yeah, 2 weeks away, and then less than 2 months worth of stuff.
Yo, why you gotta do that to me? Why you gotta bum us out?
I don't know.
what sick joint?
I'm gonna be bummed out. Y'all are gonna be bummed out.
Damn, man, that's messed up. I was just so happy. I had a smile on my face.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. You should be. You made me feel bad. You made me think about a year without Thrones. But do we have any other questions or anything? Do you want to talk about? Because we are almost on 2 hours. Do you want to stay a little bit live more on?
Half glass full, Amelia. Well, you know, I have been up since 6 a.m. I don't know if this is appropriate to talk about, but we have built such a community around here, and you know, what are we gonna do once it's all over with?
You mean Game
wow,
of Thrones?
I'm really Debbie Downer.
I mean, to be honest, I'm still going to be doing videos. I don't think that I might be doing them as frequently as I have, you know, recently, because if you know, you do videos accordingly to how much source material you have. But of course, we could still be doing videos. You know what I mean?
Do you think we'll eventually incorporate other shows? We're gonna have Westworld, which I know that you and I both really enjoy.
I really like Westworld.
Will we branch out at all, do you think?
I mean, to be honest, wait, Maria asked the question. No, I'm not doing live streams after the show. I usually release a video. Well, we do the Saturday videos usually, me and Amelia. That's what we were doing last season. So no, we're not doing like streams right after. There's like a bunch of
we did do like I think a live stream maybe once or twice.
Battle of the Bastards, I think it was that we did. We did a live stream after Battle of the Bastards. And to be honest, I honestly personally prefer doing a video, but like, you know what I mean? Like, unless it's something like crazy that we have to go live like then and there, like,
or we can't contain ourselves.
Yeah, like unless it's something like that, like it's like, yo, I have to go live now, I would do it. But like, I personally prefer doing it, and I don't think I'm planning. Like, I don't know. I think Amelia would want to do live streams, but I personally don't want to. I feel like it's just kind of off of rhythm. But I don't know. I'm gonna have everything before the season premieres. I'm gonna let you guys know exactly how everything is gonna go down, because me and Amelia.
I enjoy sometimes like post-show live streams when like your adrenaline's rushing and you're just like talking about it with your friends. But I mean, moving forward this year, like, I'm going to be hard pressed to do that unless it's something really good, because, you know, like I'm on a really strict schedule with my medicines because of my narcolepsy, that I don't know that would be possible.
Yeah. Like I honestly don't think that that's the way we're going to go, because like Amelia's situation, me personally, I work the next day and then I have to like make my videos. I like making my own videos on my thoughts and whatnot. I like having those out as soon as possible. So, you know, it just really depends. Like last season, the episode The Door, I remember, was one that I really wanted to do a live stream, and we ended up, I think, joining Don Willie and them and the Hypes Watch. And for that episode, I think we joined them. And then I think for Battle of the Bastards, we did a live stream right after. But I just prefer getting my thoughts together, because I get kind of flustered, me personally. Like when I have it, I have to write my thoughts out. And then on top of that, this year I'm going to be recording my reactions, and I'm going to be doing all of that stuff. So it's going to be crazy. It's going to be a lot of work, but I want to be, you know, as structured as I can. But Amelia, Varla Margulis says they have narcolepsy.
I know. I just commented. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's crazy because you like it's so rare that. Oh my gosh, like I want to talk to you about it now, like. But I don't have any way to like talk to him other than or her or whoever this is. Like
Instagram, I don't know, Twitter.
Provigil, I can't try it till next week though. I did not do well on Provigil at all. I take Ritalin and then I take a nighttime medicine. I don't know if you've heard. I don't want to broadcast it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if you should be like telling people like, I don't know, like broadcasting.
No, I mean Ritalin is fine. That's a really common drug, but I don't know if you're familiar with some of the medicines that help you at night, but that. So if you know what I'm talking about, you can comment. But Provigil wasn't strong enough for me. Mine is, I mean, people, there's severities. Like apparently Jimmy Kimmel has it, and he like, it's really mild. But
I don't know. Let's cut that off right there. You could cater up. Where can people get you on social media? Like, I don't know. This seems like more of a, like they could hit you directly up on Instagram or on Facebook or on Twitter. I don't know.
I'm never on Twitter. Instagram.
What's your Instagram? But I think we probably might end it here. Do you have any other thoughts you wanted to talk about on season 7?
No, I'm good. Okay, so my Instagram is A Evans Makeup Artist, all one word. You want to find me on Instagram? That's just A Evans Makeup Artist. But good luck to you.
And like I said, every Saturday you guys can find me here on these live streams. I try to do them every Saturday. Hopefully, I plan on doing one next Saturday, because then we will only be 1 week away from the episode, and I'll have some awesome topics and things to talk about. Yeah, but I think we're gonna cut it off a little bit short and early because I gotta get something to eat. I'm kind of hungry. It's getting crazy in New York. It's kind of humid. I don't want to ramble on, but thanks to everyone who joined us in the chat. There's a bunch of awesome people: Varla Margulis, Marie, the one true David Adams, Curtis. Everybody who's in the chat. Just shout out to you, Todd Fowler.
I don't know where Faye went.
Night King Skywalker, Tyrion Jr. Landstark. Let's see, Stuntley Constable. Let's see. Shout out to all of you in the chat. Thanks for joining us as always, guys. It's a true pleasure. My name is Ray, and peace.
Bye.